So thank you all for joining us. If you're if you've never been on the Stereo app with me before, my name is Bob the Drag Queen. I am here with Rose Montoya. Can I use your name, like your full name? Some folks are like, don't say my last name.
No, both are good. Yeah, Rosalind Montoya. I typically go by Rose because no one can pronounce my name right. But
People can't pronounce Montoya?
no, they can't pronounce Rosalind.
Oh, it's the Rosalind part. So for those of you if you are from my Instagram or from Rose's Instagram story, you know that we are discussing polyamory, queer polyamory, and Rose is actually my boyfriend's girlfriend. Which is such an interesting. It sounds like a rock song from the early 2000s. You remember like Stacy's mom and like somebody told me that you had a girlfriend. Like it's very that.
Oh yeah, Jesse's girl vibes, very much.
Yeah. I feel like a big part of the early 2000s was like songs about like a relationship to a person you're in proxy to. So it's not about Stacy, but it's about Stacy's mom. Anyway. But if you are one of the 266 people listening to us right now, you can follow us both on the Zero app. If you stumbled in from one of our IGs, then you should follow the other. And we're gonna have a chat. And we also want to hear your comments, hear your thoughts about polyamory. It's a bit of a taboo topic, even in less so in the queer space. I've noticed. But like when people hear that your boyfriend has a boyfriend, like do you get a reaction?
Oh my God, yeah, it's a whole thing. You know what I mean? Like so many people have asked me when I've, like told people that I'm dating Ezra. So many people are like, isn't Ezra dating Bob the drag queen? Like, did they break up? Like what happened? And I'm like, no, honey. Polyamory exists. They're good. We're good. Um, it was hard for my family though. Like telling them was a whole other story because they didn't even know like what that meant.
Like how was that for them?
They're really worried about me like having my heart broken. My mom was like, I love you so much, Rose. And like, I've thrown a lot at my parents, right? I've come out like 5 times, as gay in 2010, trans in 2015, bi the next year, non-binary. You know what I mean? It's been a journey of.
You're like a Pokemon that keeps evolving. It's like it's like you're about to be Charizard, bitch.
I'm just trying to be the best one. You know what I mean?
Gotta catch up. It's you and me. To anyone listening, polyamory, if you're one of the 392 people joining us right now, my name is Bob the Drag Queen. I'm here with Rose Montoya, and we
Welcome,
are discussing
welcome.
queer polyamory. So polyamory is defined as the practice of engaging in multiple romantic and typically sexual relationships with the consent of all the people involved. Ooh, that consent line. It hit different. That consent line really is different. We already have a listener calling in, so let's just see who this is.
All right. I know this is about to be packed, so I'm going to ask now. Rose, how do you feel being like the partner of a very, very famous drag queen? And then also the partner of a partner whose like star is kind of rising somewhat through the relation of that drag queen. And this is Decal from the Patreon. Bye.
Oh my God. Anyone who come from my Patreon, thank you so much for joining us. If you would like to join the Sibling Rivalry Patreon, go to patreon.com/Sibling Rivalry Podcast. And that was a question directed toward Ms. Montoya. And how do you feel about that actually?
Hi, honey. It was really interesting at first for me because season 8 of RuPaul is my favorite season. Bob the Drag Queen.
Oh my God.
You're stunning, girl. You're so gorgeous and you're so talented.
So
But like beyond
I agree
that,
with everything you're saying.
as you should. But beyond that, you're inspiring. You're an incredible human. You do such good for the community, for the Black community. You know what I mean, as well. And so, at first I was very much like, oh my God, you're dating Bob the drag queen. Like, why are you talking to me? You know what I mean? There was definitely a quick moment at the beginning where I definitely was worried about it, but it's been so much easier than I thought because, I mean, first off, hi, I'm Rosalind Montoya and I'm incredible. Second off, I'm Ezra, And I like our conversations are open and honest. And so I'm able to talk about my insecurities. I'm able to talk about my jealousy in a healthy way and just be honest about it. And he's very affirming. And, there's no hierarchy, and he makes me feel loved regardless. And, I love Bob, you're incredible. And there's definitely moments where I'm like, I have to separate Caldwell, the human, from like Bob the drag queen, the, online persona or whatever, but you've been humanized in my head now. So it's not a challenge anymore, but at the beginning it
Oh.
certainly was interesting.
Well, Ezra's seen me at my very human moment, so if you're talking to Ezra, it's very easy to get a human grasp on me. I will let you all know how I recall this happening too. But at least because Ezra and I have another partner. I have a partner named Jacob, and a lot of you are familiar with Jacob. And then Ezra and I started dating about a year and a half ago. And then Ezra invited me to a show, like some show that he was doing, a digital Zoom show. And I logged in, but I changed my name to Ezra Stan account. And Ezra was really big on this, like, I want a woman to step on me, like, scene. Like, he was really into this, like, he's still into it, obviously. He's like, I want a lady to hit me and step on me. He was very public about it, so I'm not outing his kink. And then
He wrote a
he
whole
was like,
song
Rose
about
is,
it. Look up Sissy.
and he was like, Rose is so pretty. So then I changed my name to Ezra Stan account. And I started being like, who thinks Ezra and Rose, who thinks Rose should step on Ezra? Rose, show us your feet so Ezra can see those so you can step on him. And I kept just doing all this. And then they ended up like dating. And it was funny because as I was talking to Ezra about you, I was just randomly going through you ever do that thing where you were sitting with someone and you show them your liked TikToks? And by the way, they never like them as much as you. They never laugh as hard as you. They never as interested. You're like, but look at this one. They're like, yeah, it's fine. I'm like, this changed my life. Anyway, I was flipping through and I was like, oh my God, I actually liked one of Rose's TikToks a while back. It was about like
What
trans
one?
history. It was one about trans, like it was from your trans history series when you were like, did you know that this trans person in history did this thing? And I was like, oh, work. And it was literally about a week after you and you started dating my boyfriend. No, I'm kidding.
And hearing that story was so affirming to me too, knowing that you support us and that you saw my drag and you didn't read me to filth was very good feeling.
No, you're stunning. You're very stunning. And I'm right now. I am not good at bedroom drag, which is what we've all been doing on Zoom, and you fucking nailed it. It was very sexy. Let's take another comment from a listener.
Hello, hello. I am a cousin on Patreon. I'll make sure to take my shoes off before I come in the house. I was wondering if either of you could tell me if there were any signs in your life early on where you knew you might be polyamorous. Bob, I remember you said that you expressed to Jacob when you were first getting together that you were polyamorous. Were there any signs before that you noticed you might be polyamorous? Thank you.
Rose, you want to take that one?
I think that's a great question, but I don't think I can think back to like my early days and really know a time where I felt like I was polyamorous or could be. I was raised so religious and so sheltered that I thought to be,
What
attracted
religion?
to the same sex was wrong. I was raised Baptist,
Ooh.
really
What?
strict Christian. And so, I didn't know the word trans until high school. And there's so many points in my life where like, obviously I was trans, obviously I was queer or whatever, but polyamory is kind of new for me. I really didn't think that was for me for a very long time, but I've been in one other polyamorous relationship in the past that didn't work out so well, but and then I've had like my fair share of like threesomes and like I've had multiple partners at one time, in the past, but I don't think I can recall any time when I was younger where like that was made apparent or like where I could be like, this is something that like I've always wanted. I can't think of something that points to that.
And I definitely want to make it clear to everyone here that being polyamorous is not like being queer or being trans. It's not a gender identity. It's not a sexual identity. It is like I do think people probably have to come out as polyamorous because it is alarming. Actually, you know there's a polyamorous flag? Did you know that?
No, I didn't even know that.
It's hideous. It's blue, red, and black, and there's a pie sign in the middle. It's really disgusting.
Cute.
That must be someone from the straight polyamory side that made that. That is fucking ugly as fuck. Anyway,
They try to make their
but
own flag.
yeah, right. Um, so it's not like, I mean, I do think there is a time we have to come out to your family about it. I told my family about it, which they're also kind of being like, but what does that mean for Jacob? Like a lot of people were saying, like, I feel like if I like Ezra, I'm being mean to Jacob. And I'm like, I promise you, I cleared it with Jacob before I cleared it with you. Like I promise you, I didn't bring it to my buddies before I mentioned to my partner that I was and when I first started dating Jacob, I just remember I've always felt like I Jacob's my first boyfriend, Ezra's my second. So I've only had two my whole life. And when I first met Jacob, I was like, I just feel like I might be polyamorous. I don't really know, to be honest, but I've never believed in soulmates. I've never believed in destiny and people being destined to be together. I don't see her. I don't see Miss Destiny like that. You know what I mean? Let's take another. If you're just joining us, if you're one of the 468 people listening, my name is Bob the Drag Queen. I'm here with Rose Montoya, and we both have the same boyfriend. His name is Ezra Michelle. We're dating the same guy. And this is not a Maury episode. We're not fighting.
No way. We're very happy. Everything is consensual and communicated, honey.
I will say this too, because I'm sure someone's going to bring up jealousy. This next question. Let's take the next question before I talk about jealousy.
Hey y'all, it's your boyfriend Ezra. I just wanted to say that I love you both very much, and I'm super lucky. I feel like the luckiest guy in the whole world, actually. That's it. There's no real question. Oh, what's your favorite thing about dating me? There's a question.
Wow. It's so funny, our different reactions, because I kept thinking all the time, it'd be so funny if I cancel the question in the middle of it. That would be so funny if I anyway, next call.
Next caller,
and
please.
And Rose is like, let's hear him out. This is so sweet. Which tells us that Ezra's getting two very different experiences.
Oh my god.
In terms of dating. I mean, something I like about dating Ezra and something I like about dating Jacob is that we are really honest with each other. I really value honesty. So that's what I like about my friendships with Monet and Peppermint and Mitch and all my friends, Mateo. Like being able to be rigorously honest. And if you hear that word, you know where I'm coming from. Is really important. Like honesty and open communication is the bedrock, the cornerstone, and the foundation of any relationship. Not just dating. I mean, like your mom, your children, your coworkers, your colleagues, you and your mailman. Bitch, be honest. What you lying for? Only lie to the government.
Oh my god, it's all about honesty and that open communication. That's something I really appreciate about Ezra too, because I knew all about you, and I knew the whole situation from the beginning. That made me feel very confident and comfortable because there was never, any there was nothing that was ever hidden or that was oh, I got to bring this awkward thing up. It's like, no, it's all up front. It's all out on the open, right from the start. And one thing I really appreciate Ezra though is he's so affirming. We speak a lot of the same love languages, which is really important, but also he says such sweet things, and he knows what to say when I'm feeling down and comfort me. He knows how to, listen when I'm hurting, and we are able to talk about, when I'm feeling insecure and when I'm feeling jealous. And that is something that, and my last polyamorous relationship did not go well. I've never felt safe talking about being jealous. And so I really appreciate that we're able to talk about it and work through it.
Wait, Ezra's nice to you? I'm kidding.
He's nice to me.
What the hell am I getting? No. Could you imagine? I do want to talk about jealousy for a little bit, because people say, how can you not be jealous? I don't know why people think that once you're in a polyamorous relationship, you are void of the same emotions that everyone else has. Bitch, I get jealous. We're
not superhuman.
Yeah, I get jealous of people. Like if I'm at the ice cream shop and the person in front of me gets the last scoop of vanilla, I'm jealous. I get jealous. I mean, I actually prefer peanut butter. I am jealous I get jealous all the time, but I'm also managing my emotions, and I'm being open and honest about it. And then once I give myself a moment to reflect on why I'm being jealous, because I realize that if I'm jealous about something, it probably speaks about an insecurity that I have in myself. I am older than Ezra and Rose. They're the same age, and I am not that age. You can Google. Um, so sometimes I'm just like, I like if sometimes Ezra and I will do something, and I'll be like, my knees hurt. And in my head, I'll say, I bet when you're hanging out with Rose, her knees aren't just hurting. Rose isn't like
Oh, honey,
going
I have
upstairs going.
scoliosis. My back is messed up, honey. I threw out my back a week ago. Don't you worry.
We're in the same. We're in the same boat.
We're in the same boat.
But I'll think to myself like, my knees hurt, so I basically have scoliosis. So what I'm saying is like, there. But you talk about it. You know, communicate back and forth, and for me, that open and honest communication helps me not dwell in it. It doesn't stop me from ever feeling jealous, but it helps me from not dwelling in it. Let's take another listener comment.
Hey, this is Trish from Patreon. I was wondering about your experience of compersion, I think it's called. It's kind of like the idea of feeling joy when you see your partner's joy. So maybe when you see when Bob sees Ezra and Rose together, does that like make you feel joy for him, or is it kind of neutral?
Let's talk about compersion, which is a word that I'm recently learning about. You know, seeing other people happy. It's the opposite of Schadenfreude, which is happiness at the misfortune of others, whereas compersion is happiness at the happiness of others. And okay, first of all, I've not seen Ezra and Rose together. I've never met Rose. We've never met in person before. But I know that when Ezra talks about her, he's happy, and it makes me happy to see my partner happy. I think that if you have a relationship with your partner where you would like to be their sole source of happiness, that's a problem. Like, that is a red flag. If you are with a partner who doesn't want you to hang out with your friends, who doesn't want you to have other friends, who is mad that you find someone else attractive, in my opinion, even being upset that your partner finds other people attractive, that is a red flag. You are asking your partner to find no one else attractive to you but you, and I get it. There's a meme on TikTok, or there's a culture on TikTok and Instagram where we make jokes about being like, there was a Vine years ago, aging myself, where this girl was like, my man not allowed to see no other women. I change every phone number in your phone to my number. Call your mama, bitch. I'm gonna pick up. It is funny. The idea of changing all the contacts to your phone number and a phone number, that is really funny. That does not sound fun to be around, to be near. It sounds like you can't thrive in that environment. Seeing someone happy, to me, that makes me happy. And it brings more happiness to your life when you're able to see other people happy. What do you think about compersion?
I agree. It's also a new word for me. I actually learned it from my therapist, which I think is a great solution for jealousy.
I love it as a solution. Have you tried compersion?
Have you tried compersion? Let me tell you about it.
Ask your doctor if compersion is right for you.
It's a beautiful feeling, though. You know, I want my partner, I want Ezra, you know, to be as happy and fulfilled and to have all of the love that he can, because he deserves it. You know, I truly believe that humans deserve to feel loved and fulfilled and affirmed. And I agree with you. To control someone and say that that needs to solely come from me is one, like, a lot of pressure. Like, you know, I can't give someone everything. I have to focus on me first. And I feel like that's been an issue in past relationships where I've like lost myself, or where I've focused so much on the other person and their happiness and their needs that I've forgotten about my own. And so I think that's a really beautiful thing in our dynamic, is that, you know, I know that he's being, you know, loved and fulfilled, one, by himself. First off, that's most important, but then also, you know, with you. And I love seeing him happy. I love, you know, we've never met. I've never seen you two interact in person yet, but seeing you interact on social media, seeing like your content together is so beautiful. Like, there are moments, absolutely, where I'm like, I wish I was there. I wish I could be the one cuddling him, you know, absolutely. But seeing him so happy and giggling and so, you know, just in a good mood is really beautiful. And I love seeing that for him, because that's what I want for him. And I know that I do that for him too. You know, my time is my time and your time is your time. And, you know, it's a beautiful thing to see him happy, and that's what it's about, because I need to focus on me sometimes, and so it's something I'm learning to do more and more, but it's something I'm incredibly thankful for in this dynamic.
Yeah, I think making yourself the most important person in your life sounds selfish, but it's actually really important. You cannot put anyone before yourself, not even your children. You need to put your children's health and your partner's health and life they need to be on a pedestal. But if you don't keep yourself in tip top shape, you cannot show up for other people in your life. And I want to hear if you all, and Kennedy, if you're listening, Kennedy's moderating our chat. Thank you so much, Kennedy. If you all, I want to hear if any of you have experience with polyamory. And Kennedy, you can push those to the front. If anyone here has experience with polyamory, if you can please push those to the front. And I want to say this too. Sometimes people are like, well, my friend was in a polyamorous relationship and it ended. So obviously polyamorous relationships are bad. Bitch, most relationships end. Yeah, your parents also got divorced. Is that because marriages are bad? You know what I mean? No, not necessarily. Maybe that's just because that one particular relationship was not working out. When you add more people to a dynamic, obviously there are obvious options for more things to go wrong. I mean, when I met Ezra, he had a girlfriend. So for Ezra, this is pretty par for the course. Let's take another. You want to do the honors of selecting the next?
Let's do it. I've never done this.
You just
Yo, what's up? This is Jake from Patreon. This seems like the obvious question, but how do you guys deal with jealousy? Is that a thing, or? Yeah.
Well, we just covered that one. Let's go to the next one.
Hey, this is Matt. I am wondering, what is the most important boundary that you have each set? So they could be different, but what is your most important boundary for your individual relationships with Ezra?
Hi, Cinco de Mayo. I love that username.
Name. Yeah,
I'll let you go first, Bob.
I set a really important boundary. Ezra's not allowed to hold Rose's hand. I'm kidding.
This is this is indeed factual. We do not hold hands.
No, that's so funny. I gotta say, I really tickle myself. Thank you all for joining us for my live stand-up comedy. I don't set boundaries for anyone. I will say this, I set boundaries for myself. Yes. Let's say, for example, if you're in a work situation and you're like, I just everyone know, if you talk to me like this, then I will do this. Meaning, if you talk to me like, call me a dirty nigger bitch, then I'm going to leave the room and not work here anymore. And I've certainly set boundaries for myself, but I've not said I would never in a million years say you and anyone else aren't allowed to do certain thing, because again, to me that sounds toxic.
Yeah, I think that's really beautiful.
Right? I mean,
I agree.
Have you set any boundaries? Have you set any boundaries I don't know about?
No, I agree with you. I'm only in charge of myself. Like we are each our own beings, and I love that freedom. I think that that's so necessary for everyone. I don't like controlling people. I don't like being told what I can and can't do. Like, I'm gonna find other people attractive. You know what I mean? That's human. And what's really fun about being bi and about Ezra being bi is we can find the same people attractive, and that's very fun, But no, there's no boundaries that I don't want to control my partner. That's not my role. You know what I mean? But, based off of the choices that Ezra makes, I'll make my own choices on what I do with my own body. You know what I mean? So like, I set up boundaries for myself and my own body, my own well-being. There's certain things that I don't need to know and don't want to know, but there's a lot of things that I do need to know. You know what I mean? So it's all about just knowing what I'm comfortable with, but it has nothing to do with controlling my partner. It has everything to do with just protecting myself.
Wonderfully said. For example, if I mean, there are some things that we do, like, for example, between me, Ezra, and Jacob, we do have I don't want to say protocol because it sounds like we work at a at a conglomerate.
But the good old factory of polyamory.
Right? I see Ezra and Jacob back and forth literally every day. I go one, the other, one, the other, one, the other. And that is so that I can see my partners every day. I don't want to necessarily have to. I mean, there are days where I don't. Ezra went to Mexico. Ezra went to Arizona. Ezra, blah blah blah. Jacob went to Philly. Blah blah blah. So there were times where I did not see them. But typically speaking, I like to see my partners each day. I don't do a week here and a week there, weekends here. Like that. But and that all goes within reason. If Ezra has something to do, or if I have something to do, or if Jacob has something to do, I'm not gonna ask Jacob to fly back from Philly so I can see him today. I'm just gonna deal with it as it comes. You know what I mean? When Ezra and I moved into this place we're in right now, I spent a few days here because it was like it didn't seem appropriate to have Ezra set the home up by himself. And when Jacob and I move into where we're going to move into eventually, we're going to end up doing the same thing there as well. Let's take another caller comment.
Hey Bob, hey Rose. I'm just wondering how polyamory has impacted the non-romantic parts of your life. So like your friendships, how you see your time with them and all that.
I just want to quickly say before we go any further that my name is Bob the Drag Queen. I'm here with Rose Montoya on the Stereo app. And if you would like to follow us both, that'd be amazing. As of right now, Rose has 138 followers, and I have a strong feeling we could sneak our way up to 300. And that would be really great. If you're listening, please click both of our adorable little faces. You notice I am wearing my wig from First Impressions. You're all welcome. It is across all platforms now. Has it affected I'll let you go because I babble a lot. You go. How has polyamory affected your friendships and relationships with your family?
I think that's a really great question because, I've been telling everyone, I mean, I'm very public about my life. Maybe I share too much about myself sometimes, but I'm comfortable with that. And I don't think it's really affected my friendships per se. Everyone's been really happy for me. And it's definitely been like a conversation I've had to have with some people and let them know, like, I'm happy. This is consensual. Like, we're good. This is what it means. No, I'm not dating Bob. I'm only dating Ezra. So
drag me.
I've had to explain the situation many, many times. You know what I mean? But I think it started a lot of beautiful conversations, though. And I think it's definitely opened the minds of some of my friends. And, I think I'm learning a lot. I think they're learning a lot. And with my family, though, it's a different dynamic where, I don't think they fully understand it yet, but I don't think they fully understand me being a trans queer human either yet. It's fully, so it's always a process coming out to family members. But, what's another one? So they're learning alongside me, I guess, because, it'll take them time, I think, to fully get it, but they're fully willing and they're happy for me.
Well, that's the thing. We cannot expect other people to process things in the same way and time that we do. And I have learned that over the years, especially with my family. And it is easy to vilify the families of queer people. But I've always said to someone, if I had all of your experiences, I'd be just like you. Like, if I looked like you, was born from where you're born, raised how you're raised, experienced everything you experienced, I would be just the fuck like you. You know what I mean? So I always try to have a lot more grace for people. In terms of my friendships, I have noticed that it has been, my friends will just kind of be like, again, I said earlier, I had to let them know that this was not done against Jacob's will. I did not pull the wool over his eyes. Liking Ezra does not mean that you are against Jacob. There are not teams. This is not the top 4 of RuPaul's Drag Race UK, Team Bimini, Team Lawrence. This is a completely different experience. And I'm rooting for everyone. I'm rooting for Ezra and Rose's success and whatever that means. You know what I mean? Like, when Ezra was dating his last partner, I was rooting for their success, and at one point I think that meant that they were not together anymore. That means they could both be successful. So I'm just rooting for the success of the people that I love. I mean, I just met Rose. This is the longest Rose and I have ever spoken. I called her on the phone today for the first time, and we are supposed to play Smash pretty soon. But
I can't wait to Smash.
Let's Smash. Wanna Smash? Let's take another comment.
Hey Bob and Rose, I had a question regarding marriage. Number one, do y'all want to get married? Is that on the cards for y'all? Number two, how would you navigate marriage in the context of polyamory?
Before we attack that one, I just want to quickly say I'm Bob Drag Queen. I'm here with Rose Montoya. Rose is my boyfriend's girlfriend, and I would love it if you all could take a moment to click both of our faces and follow us. And thank you all for these amazing comments that you're sending us.
Thank
Rose,
you,
do you want to
thank
get
you.
married? Do you
I
want to get married,
do.
Rose?
I so badly
Mhm.
want to get married. I always have my whole life. I've dreamed of it. I don't know what that looks like at all, and I just know that I've always wanted to. I feel like first and foremost, I'm taking care of myself. I have a lot of ambition. I have a lot of goals, a lot of things that I want to do. And like that kind of is like one of my first priorities, is focusing on that. So like I have no timeline. I'm focused on right now, and I'm really happy with where my life is at right now. My career
Mhm.
is, I'm thriving in a lot of ways. My career has exploded since 2020, which is wild that like COVID benefited me in many ways. It's been a hard fucking year, but I've had a lot of really beautiful things happen, especially in my career, which is surprising. But I'm really focused on that. I would love to be married. I would love to, have a family. I don't know if that means kids. I don't know. Kids is a whole other thing that I don't know. But right now I'm happy, and that's, I don't know what will happen in a year, in 5 years, 10 years, but I'm happy with where I'm at today. I would love to be married one day, but I've never even been to a queer wedding. I like that. I want to do that first. I want to see two gay people get married or two trans people get married, or you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I've never, I want to witness that, and I want to, just live in this moment. That's so beautiful. Do you want to get
Yeah, I
married,
went to
Bob?
my first queer wedding. It was Dusty Ray Bottoms, and I officiated my first queer wedding that I was ever at.
Oh,
I come in with it. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it all the way. Um, do I want to get married? Wow, this is sudden. I can't believe you're proposing to me. We
will
just
you
met,
marry me?
Rose. This is so sudden. I mean, I'm assuming you're asking if we're both going to marry Ezra, and I mean, I don't know what the future holds for anything. I mean, who says that we'll get married? Who says that we'll be together in 10 years or 2 weeks? I might piss Ezra off with this comment. We might break up after this call. Um, but I think that I spent a lot of time fighting for gay marriage and marriage equality in New York State, and then when it happened, I was like, I don't even know if I ever need to get married. The institution of marriage outside of a government recognized institution for me is a little bit archaic. I think there's a lot of elements to marriage that are misogynistic, that are transphobic, that are homophobic, that are xenophobic in general. But I do think that the rights afforded to um, cis straight people in terms of marriage being recognized by our government, I think that I deserve that as well, and I want my piece of that. I want my piece of that pie, and I want my seat at that table. Um, what will the wedding look like? Have you seen Tiger King? No, I'm kidding. What will what,
Oh, there better be
what
live
will
Cheetos at the wedding, honey.
there's gonna be methamphetamines. There's gonna be a lion.
No.
Just a little meth. I mean, listen, if you want my cousins to come, we gotta be doing some crack. Um, no, no one in my family does crack. Well, that's not true. Someone in my family does do crack. We're not discussing that
We're
today.
getting the real. Oh
I
my
don't want to lie and
god.
say no one in my family does crack because that's a blatant lie. But not my mom, and that's the most important thing. I didn't say me. Um, so in terms of what it means to get married, I think about that a lot. I think about what it means to have kids a lot because I know that where I'm at right now in my life on this day on at 9:34 Pacific time, March 16th, Tuesday, 2021. Um, I don't want kids. Now, if you'd asked me 10 years ago, I was like, I need kids. If you ask me in 5 years from now, I might say, I gotta have these goddamn kids. I'm not living my life without no goddamn kids. Um, but I know that Ezra really wants kids. I don't know where he's gonna be with that in a few years. I know that Jacob's like, I could not, I could have kids. I could not have kids. I know that my mother really wants me to have grandkids. My mother wants me to
Same.
have children. But all that being said, that doesn't, I don't like to future trip. I don't like to live in the land of the
Mm-mm.
future. We have to live right now. And what I know is right now, what we have is working. And if it ever stops working, there's I mean, one day I'm going to do a podcast about breaking up, which is funny because I've never broken up with anyone. But maybe I can have someone on who's done a lot of breaking up in their days so they can tell me what it's like. But I think there is an amicable way for people to exist and not exist in a relationship. And sometimes you part ways because things aren't working. Sometimes you part ways because you just want different things in general. But this is not the breakup podcast. Let's take our next comment.
Hi, Bob and Rose. This is Mitch, Bob's producer. I have a question. I'm curious. Are you open to the idea of becoming attracted to your partner's partner? And if you were, would you be open to engaging in a relationship that was no longer separate?
Got it. Like a throuple moment. So that was from our producer, Mitch Farino, who produces Sibling Watchery. If you watch that on YouTube, and all of my only childs that I have here on my YouTube page as well. The question is, do I want to fuck Rose? I'm boiling it down. I'm really boiling it down. I do identify as pansexual, and I have been attracted to women, and I have been attracted to men and non-binary people across the platforms. As of right now, me and Rose have not engaged in any sexting, in any back and forth like that. But who knows? Maybe I'll meet Rose and I'll slide into the DMs.
You already did, though. I'm weak. Oh my god. Wow, this is a new ship for me. I think Bob is very attractive with a beard. I will for all the children listening, I will let you know Bob is very cute with a beard. I will let you know.
Oh, so sweet. And I'll have you all know that right now I do not have the beard, so.
For those that cannot see Bob right now. Oh my god. No, but you're so gorgeous. You're so stunning. I don't know. I want to meet you first.
Work. So
I want to get to know you as a human. I'm demisexual. So what that means is I need to get to know someone on a personal level. I like to make friends. I like to know people, make sure I vibe well with them. But this has been a vibe. It's been a kiki. So
what's funny about you being demisexual is you kind of look like Demi Moore. Like a little
bit.
Don't
I know? Thank you. I get that a lot. That before? Every day on TikTok.
If you guys know, demisexual is when you specifically want to fuck exclusively Demi Moore. And a lot of people don't know that. Pansexual is when you speak Spanish and you only fuck bread. So I'm pansexual.
Oh, no me encanta bread or pan, yes.
I'm pansexual. I will say I am not demisexual. I'm not sapiosexual. I don't need to like you. I don't need to know you. I don't need to give a fuck about you. I have to just not hate you. As long as I don't hate you, I can probably bust it. Let's take the next comment.
Oh my god.
I don't consider myself polyamorous, but I do have a husband, and I consider him my life partner, and then we call ourselves ethically non-monogamous, where we're free to date other people so he can explore his pan side and I can get more dick.
Girl, you better get that D. That's so funny.
You gotta get dick down. You gotta listen.
I get it. I mean, girl.
Do what you gotta do to get what you want to get. That's the philosophy in life. If you're just joining us, my name is Bob the Drag Queen. I'm with Rose Montoya, and we are discussing polyamory, queer polyamory specifically. We both have the same partner. We both have the same boyfriend. I am her boyfriend.
Wait, you're dating Ezra?
Yeah, I didn't. Surprise! This is how we wanted to tell you. We wanted to come out here on this platform because we didn't know if you'd get all wild and crazy. I do love the idea of someone. I love the idea of quote unquote straight people or cis people anyway. I actually don't know this person's gender identity at all, but I do love the idea of more than just queer people, because everyone thinks of, like, in my head, when people think of polyamory, they think of either polygamists who are like often speaking one man with a harem of wives. That's what people think of when they think of polyamory. And polygamy and polyamory are not the same thing. They're not mutually exclusive. I'm gonna say that you can be polygamous and polyamorous. Or they think about like you remember a couple of years ago there was a like this house of bears in Washington that kind of got into some trouble because they were
I
like
do remember that.
yeah, it was like a polygamous slash polyamorous house that there was like one guy. He was the main bear, the main like they were all like roided up with like a lot of muscles and like the ones who like inject their balls to make their balls look really huge and stuff.
What?
Anyway, one of them ended up passing a. You never seen this before? They want to look like
no.
Tom of Finland. They want to look like Tom of Finland, so they inject their penises and their balls with saline to make them look like comically huge. It's like it's a sight gag. I mean, I think it's barely functional at that point, but I don't know. I've never done something like that. Anyway, one of them passed away, and it really shined a really negative light on polyamory, and I believe there was some abuse going on in that relationship as well. Because the guy was from Australia and his parents were just so mad at the guy that he was dating, and they publicly confronted him on Australian television. And oftentimes, whenever there's a light being shined on polyamory, it's negative, with the exception of like maybe I think Derek Barry is one of the only representations of queer polyamory I've seen in the media that isn't making it look bad. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's a really great clip. If you watch the Queens of Vegas or the Vegas Strip or Drag Race Vegas, whatever it was, there's a really great clip of Derek and his partners going to bed and like doing their nightly routine, but they were setting it up. It was in the middle of the day. So if you look out the window, you'll see that like it's daytime, but they're all like in bed. And then like they all go to sleep. It was really odd. It was clearly like
the life of a content creator.
Girl, full on. Let's take another voice note.
What's the biggest misconception about being poly?
What do you think what do you think it is, Rose?
I think you touched on this briefly. A lot of people assume it's like polygamy or like a throuple situation. Every time that I tell people that I'm polyamorous and that Bob the drag queen and I are both dating Ezra, 90% of the people assume that Bob and I are also together and that we're all three together. And then when I mention Jacob, everyone's like, wait, what? There's a four. Wait, what is this? Like, I'm like, it's a straight line, honey. It's okay. It's the only thing straight about, I think, any of us. But there is a straight line there. We are not all dating each other, We're connected by the people that we date, though. So that's the biggest thing that I think people always assume. But also, like, I think a lot of people also assume that it's not consensual or that it's like cheating. I've had a lot of people ask me, like, well, what happened to Bob the drag queen and Ezra? Like, what happened to them? Like, are they okay? And I'm like, yeah, like, it's good. Like, this is consensual.
It's so hard being a celebrity couple.
Yeah. Wow.
Imagine. I think that maybe what I probably get a lot is that people assume that I don't experience jealousy, which we touched on earlier as well. I mean, I have all the emotions that a human being would have.
Absolutely.
It is. We have about 17 minutes left, so we're gonna try to. So Kennedy, you can stop taking voice notes. We're gonna try to get through all 8 that we have up on the queue.
How do you find the time and energy to be in a relationship with multiple people? I feel like for me personally, being in a relationship with one person is already so taxing in a way.
I don't know who that was, but their avatar looked like Jonathan Van Ness. That was.
I thought the same thing. The second I saw the avatar, I was like, "Is this JVN right now?" Like, wait, hi, it's Gay Jesus. No. I love your icon, honey. I don't think I could really speak to this question though. I'm only dating one person. I will say that I'm free too, but right now I'm really just focused on Ezra. I mean, it's new, you know what I mean? I'm very happy. I've never dated multiple people at one time. I have been intimate with multiple people at one time. I've even been in a, multiple person sexting conversation, but maybe that's a different conversation to be had.
different day. I will be honest with you. There are times when you have two partners where it is really exhausting. Imagine how exhausted you are with having one partner, and then it's just times 2. I think that Jim Gaffigan had a really great bit one time. He goes, "You know what it's like to have 4 children, it's like you're drowning and you have 3 kids in your arms that you're also trying to stop from drowning, and then someone hands you another baby. And sometimes when you're dating someone who is dating who in dating two at once, you have to deal with I have to deal with whatever me and Jacob are going through. I have to deal with whatever me and Ezra are going through. And a lot of times because they're affecting me, my problems will radiate to those people. You know, when you're dating someone, your problems are their problems and their problems are your problems because you're in close proximity and you talk so often. So there are times where it is not necessarily easy, and the added element of polyamory exacerbates it. It does not make it easier to deal with. But I love them both very much, and I'm dedicated to making it work.
I love that.
There you go. Let's take another one.
Hi, this is Joan from Patreon. I'd like to hear more about Rose. Like, do you have any other partners apart from Ezra?
I
You gotta
don't.
cover that.
Yeah, I don't. I flirt with other people, but like, no, Ezra's my only partner. He's the only partner I want at the moment.
Work. Hey guys, I have a really quick question for Rose. I was just wondering if Rose was also in a poly relationship. And if not, do you find that not having another partner leads to, I don't want to bring it back to the jealousy, but you having more time to focus on the fact that your partner has a partner as well? Thanks. Love you guys.
Hi,
Love his
William.
Southern accent.
So I'm only dating one person, and I mean there are moments where, you know, like I just spent a whole week with Ezra, and then after he left, you know, there were moments where I'm like, I'm here alone. But I'm not alone. You know, I have so many friends. I have a beautiful support system. I live with my parents at the moment, and and that's really beautiful. And so I'm never alone, but there have been moments where I'm like, okay, he's with Bob and I'm over here. It's fine. You know, long distance is difficult. It has its moments, absolutely. But I remind myself of all those beautiful times. And I mean, Ezra and I talk every single day. So I don't know. I forget what the rest of that question was.
It's also I like what you said about for me, well, you didn't say this, but for me, if you make your partner your life, that's not
It's not gonna work.
No, like that's not gonna work because
Honey.
if you lose them, you don't have a life,
Yeah.
or if they die, you don't have a life, or if they go out of town for a week, you don't have a life. Like you have to make your life you. You have to be the most important thing in your life. I'm talking your partners, your children, your job. You have to be the most important thing in your life because if you lose that thing, then what you tell me you don't have a life anymore? Like Mary, come on.
I love
Plus we have 4 more calls to get to.
Hey Bob, hey Rose. I have a question. How would two people that are that want to be in a relationship together, however one person is monogamous and the other person is polyamorous, what is a good way to navigate through that? Because I imagine it could be potentially pretty difficult. Anyway, yeah, that's my question. Love you, bye.
Well, I guess the word of the week is open and honest communication. I think that if you're dating someone, if you mean monogamous, meaning like let's say Rose and I are dating, and Rose wants to date someone else, but I only have eyes for Rose, and so I want to be monogamous. Do you hear that? That's the key thing. I want to be monogamous. You cannot force monogamy or polyamory on anyone else. So I'll be like, Rose, I am choosing to be monogamous with you because you're the only person I want to be with. And if Rose says, I love you, thank you so much, I am polyamorous and I have the ability to love other people and it may come along or is happening right now. If you're comfortable with that, then you accept it. If you're comfortable with it. If you think that your jealousy won't allow you to have that, then I would say first of all, keep yourself safe, but also maybe do some introspection to find out why you feel that way. Just a
I
thought.
love that. Absolutely.
You know?
I agree. It has to be consensual. It has to be a conversation. I think that can work, absolutely. But yeah, it's exactly what you just said. I don't think I can say it any better.
And also weigh what it means to see your partner happy with another person. Weigh what that means to you. Maybe test the waters. Maybe your partner goes on a date, or maybe you just have a discussion about it. You talk
Yeah.
about it and say, if this happened, how would you feel? If this happened, how would you feel? Let me say right now, you can talk about what would happen, but when it does happen, it's not the same as your little role play scenarios. And I can tell you that um, from dating Jacob exclusively for about a year and a half, 2 years, and then Ezra dating Rose starting about 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
Yeah. It was New Year's Eve. It's almost 3 months.
Work. Well, let's take another comment.
Hello, Bob, and hello, Rose. My name is Freddie, and I'm 19 years old, and I've recently disclosed to myself that I am polyamorous, and I'm very young, so I don't really know how to navigate the dating world. I've never really, I've dated in high school, but that doesn't really count because I'm newly an adult now. So, do you have any advice for a newly appointed polyamorous young person? Please answer me.
Oh, the devil horns with that too. Please answer me. Hi, honey. I think my biggest piece of advice is to focus on yourself. Focus on self-love and make sure that you're doing okay. Something I've really been doing this last year, because I was just single for a year, which is the longest I've ever been single since I've been dating people. And so it's been so beautiful for me because I've been able to treat myself how I would treat a partner. I have learned to fall in love with myself, to take myself on dates, and not like leaving my house because it's COVID, but treating
Super spreader
myself.
confirms. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
And so I've done a lot of things for myself this year, and I've just allowed myself to lean into what that looks like, my own gender euphoria, my own self-confidence. And, I've met a new therapist that I am so happy and connect with really well, who has a lot of experience with polyamory. And so I think it's so beneficial for me to have that. So, work on yourself, whatever that looks like. I'm a huge advocate for therapy if that's something that works for you. I think it can work for everyone. You just got to find the right therapist. But, focus on you and then that'll come. I personally don't think it's super healthy to actively seek out a relationship. You can actively seek out, go on dates and chat with people, flirt with people, meet new people. I love doing that. But to be I need to be in a relationship. This is something that I need to do, and I'm going to put all of my time and energy into getting into a relationship. Why? Be content with yourself and love yourself and treat yourself that way. And then when someone comes along, great. But I don't know. That's a lesson that I'm still learning. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that year of being single is so important for me. So I would challenge you to wait and focus on you if that is a need. I don't know. I'm assuming things about you maybe, but this is just general advice for anybody.
Also, I'd say offer your partner what you would want for yourself. If you are comfortable with your partner keeping secrets from you, but if you're not comfortable with your partner keeping secrets from you, then maybe you shouldn't keep secrets from your partner. And I definitely think there's a huge difference, obviously, for me, personally, between hooking up with someone and dating someone. When
Absolutely.
you're hooking up with someone, I don't think you owe them much more than the blanket stuff out there, meaning this is what I am interested in sexually. This is information that could really greatly impact your health or your mental well-being. Outside of that, that's pretty much that's it. When it comes to dating, I think you need to be an open book with your partner, and that includes for me disclosing that you're polyamorous as soon as possible. Not necessarily, at breadsticks on the first date.
Honey, I agree.
But buy the dessert.
Yeah, maybe before sexy time. It's like being trans, I might not tell everyone right off the bat, but, once I get to know you, once I trust you before we go to the bedroom, I'll let you know I'm trans. I'll let you know I'm polyam.
Mm-hmm. I'm Rose, and I'm Polly. I'm Polly Rose. Oh my God, Polly Rose is a great name.
Polly Rose. Ooh, did we just come up with a new drag queen name?
There it is, Polly Rose. Oh, we have
Someone
two more.
choose
Here we
it.
go.
Hey Bob, this is Arturo from Patreon. How does it break down in the holidays?
Well, it do break down during the holidays. I'll tell you that. um, um, I think that it's very similar. I think of it very similarly to dating someone and deciding whose parents you're going to go see, whose house you're going to go to. Some people, luckily, Jacob is Jewish and his family does not celebrate Christmas, so I can celebrate Hanukkah with his family and Christmas with my family. But there are other holidays like New Year's and blah 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 blah. And I think that we just have a conversation. We find out, for example, for New Year's, I was like, well, New Year's, we were at a place in our relationship where we were not all like hanging out together or doing things together. We were working on our individual relationships, me and Ezra and Jacob. And I was like, well, what's going on? So we talked about it and we decided who I was going to spend New Year's with. And then we looked at that and was like, well, then maybe that means the next holiday Jacob and I will spend together. So it's just, conversation, making sure everyone feels good or as good as possible. Because sometimes everyone can't feel great, but people can still feel good about themselves. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And we have not had a holiday together yet since I've been with Ezra. And so we haven't been there yet. We haven't come across that. But let's just be thankful that Bob and I don't share a birthday.
Where's your birthday?
10-10, bitch. I'm a 10 out of 10.
Oh my God. I'm 10-11. I'm kidding.
Are you for real?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. We have some problems.
Oh, God.
All right. Kennedy, I told you not to take it. We have two more. All right, this must be really important. This last
Two
one.
more.
All right, we have two more.
Hi. So as public figures, do you ever feel that people ask a lot of questions specifically about the polyamory?
Yeah, people are really intrigued, genuinely intrigued by if you Google "is Bob the drag queen" or "does Bob the drag queen," or it's mostly about me and my boyfriends. It's like it's very common because it intrigues people, and I get it. It is interesting, quite frankly. It's very, very interesting. So yeah, I get it a lot. How about you, Rose?
Yeah, and it's not talked about a lot. There's not a lot of public figures that are polyamorous or that talk about it, very much. But yeah, I get questions all the time. I've been asked questions about your personal life, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm not, like, one, I don't even know the answer. Two, I might know the answer, but, like, it's not your business. I'm not going to be answering questions, like that. So,
well, what's the question? Do you remember? I might answer it right now. What were the questions? I'm so curious.
Like, people have, like, asked me, like, your dynamic with, like, Jacob, or, like, when did you meet, or how did you meet? I'm like, I don't even know how we met Jacob. I have no idea. It's not my business. And they've asked personal questions, like, what is Bob's sex life? Like, what, you're both dating Ezra? Like, what does that look like? I'm like, honey, you don't need to know that, first off. But I'm used to getting personal questions. I mean, I'm a public figure and I'm transgender. I get asked what's in my pants every single day. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm very used to those. But yeah, I constantly get asked, like, what's the situation? Who, like, wait, you and what? All the time. Mm-hmm. But I'm used to that.
Anyone asking me and Jacob's dynamic, Jacob identifies as a pass-around party bottom. No, I'm kidding. That's not true. That is a joke. That is a joke Jacob would make, though. I mean, I also make it really clear that between Ezra and Jacob, for me, I don't have a primary partner. I have two partners. And I don't have, like, a main partner and then, like, a secondary and then, like, that's not how I do things. But also, everyone can do things however they want to do them. This is our very last one. Here we go.
Girl, this shit juicy. Ooh, girl. Mm.
That is Monet Exchange, my drag sister. If you want to check out me and Monet Exchange, talking about all of our opinions on practically everything, you can go to Sibling Rivalry podcast.com or go to patreon.com/Sibling Rivalry. There's hours and hours of content. Rose, do you have anything you want to plug? Anything you want people to check out? I'm very grateful. If you're here, please, please, please go and follow Rose. Rose now has 209 followers. When we started, you had 4. At the top,
yes!
We're at 209. And I have a strong feeling in this last push, we can get a few more. Support trans creators. Honestly, if you don't click on Rose's face and follow, you're probably transphobic. But I'm just assuming.
I didn't say it, but shit, don't come for me. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is actually the only platform that my username is different. It's Rose Montoya because Stereo is a little bit transphobic and Rosalind Montoya doesn't fit. See, it's a joke. Don't come for me, Stereo. Don't ban me like TikTok did. My username everywhere is my first name, last name. That's Rosalind Montoya, RosalynneMontoya. It's linked here on my profile.
Yeah, Rose has a really cool TikTok, which I recommend y'all go and check out. Rose, you are officially, by the end of this, you are officially at 246 followers. Thank you all so much for listening. I'm going to be doing more of these chats. I really enjoy them. And Rose, thank you for agreeing to this last minute. I called Rose today and was like, we should schedule. I've been trying to get Rose and Ezra to do a stereo. I've been like, you gotta do it. And then I called Rose and I was like, we should do it. And she goes, when? I was like, bitch, what you doing today?
The go-getter, honey. Bob the drag queen, everybody. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for having me. This was such a pleasure and a delight. I always leave at the end of all of my live events and stuff. I always leave an affirmation. I just want to let everyone know here that I love you and that you're beautiful and handsome. You are worthy and valid. I appreciate you. And I'm so happy that you exist.
That's so sweet. And I want you all to know, if you can't love yourself, I understand because you're an asshole. No, I'm kidding. Rose, I'll see you over on the Riverside. And Rose, make sure when you end the live, you have to exit out or else they'll keep bringing in new people to talk to you. All right. Bye, everyone.
All right. Thank you, everybody.